starting with the bullpen. Matt, you recently wrote that Alexis Diaz, brother of Edwin, seems like, in your words, a pipe dream right now because of what the team would have to give up for him. Are there any prospects that you wouldn't mind parting with for Diaz?
Well, it all depends on what the Reds want. And from what we've heard so far with reports, I think it was John Heyman who shared that report last week about the Mets at least starting to lay the foundation with potentially making a run at Alexis, that the Reds want young pitching. We don't know how young, we don't know what kind of pitching they're looking for, and things like that. So I think that kind of depends a little bit. But if you look at the Reds situation, Diaz isn't even going to be arbitration eligible, I think, for another couple of years. He's not going to be a free agent until 2028. This is the time for a small market team to hold on to a stud like that. So if they're going to get him pried out of their hands, they're going to ask for the world. So, I mean, I would think, if you look at those top 10 prospects and specifically looking at their young pitching, like, okay, maybe like a Tidwell or someone like that could be something that would be easier to part with because you don't necessarily know what they're going to be just yet. But at the same time, the Reds appear to be on the upswing. I saw Jolly Olive share something on Twitter today. He said that the Reds and the Mets have the same record, but the vibes are very, very different right now in the clubhouse. It seems like the Reds are in a much different spot than the Mets are, but they have the same record. So, I mean, it seems like they're going to be more apt to hold on to someone like that, and the Mets would have to overwhelm them dramatically to make any kind of deal, which we've seen last year and the year before that. They haven't been willing to do for a number of reasons.
Yeah, and Anthony, do you see any potential power options that the Mets may be keeping an eye on before the deadline next month?
Yeah, it's not a great year to be searching for power bats at the deadline. Certainly the bullpen will be easy enough to upgrade. I don't think Alexis Diaz is a realistic option for all the reasons Matt just discussed. But power bats, you look at who's not contending, and there's a reason why these teams are not contending. The A's are an obvious sell candidate. They don't have much to sell. Brent Rooker's the one who stands out, and he does, by the way, have a Mississippi State connection. He went there, which should appeal to Buck Showalter. I could see the Mets making a move at the margins like that. Adam Duvall in Boston just got healthy. If the Red Sox fall out of it, that's a guy I thought the Mets might have been on this past winter. They weren't really in on him for their bench or part-time role type of thing. They signed Tommy Pham instead, but I could see that. Joey Meneses in Washington is a guy who could become available. He's of some intrigue. CJ Cron in Colorado, I would tend to put on that list, but he's been not healthy, and you don't know when he's coming back. So these names I know are not standing out, but that's because there's not that one guy other than Shohei Ohtani who I really don't see being traded. You can say that's going to make a massive impact on our team. So I think it's going to be tough for the Mets to upgrade in that area. I think their trade deadline is going to probably have to center a little bit more around pitching, and then hope that your lineup, which you thought was a really good lineup at the beginning of the year, can kind of return to that form.